Hey guys, welcome to the unboxing and assembly video of your Vallkree. Let's get into it. So I'll begin with the unboxing showing you what comes in each of the Vallkree e-bikes. First things first, you have your e-bike and then your front wheel with front fenders attached to it. You'll find a small rectangular box at the bottom which has your charger, front skewer and right pedal. Once you've got the bike out of the box, I recommend putting a towel or bath mat to protect the forks from any damage. Remove most of the protective padding on the frame of the bike, and it doesn't matter what order you do this in, but I recommend leaving the main padding on the top tube at the end of the assembly just in case it gets scratched in the process. Once most of the padding is removed, you'll unpack the handlebars and move to the stem where you need to remove the 4 screws. This will allow you to take off the front clamp and insert the handlebars. So just as I show you here, once the handlebar is held within the semicircle of the stem clamp, you can attach the front part and thread the screws in. Hand tighten them first and then tighten about halfway. And on any bike in any situation, I recommend doing the opposite corners first, and then the rest of them to distribute the stem spacing. This is what it should look like for now. Remember to keep it loose enough that we can adjust the handlebars, and to do just that, we just rotate the handlebars up or down to your preference, and then move it left or right to center it. Once you've got it all set, you tighten all the 4 screws. Now you'll see the spacing of the stem clamp here is uneven, where the top spacing is greater than the bottom. The general rule of thumb is to have them even, so to fix that I untighten the bottom screws and tighten the top screws until their spacing is equal. Voila! This is what your handlebars should look like. Now we'll move on to the forks and the front wheel. Remove the padding of the forks and the bubble wrap for the light. Grab your front wheel and unpack it and grab the fender. This is what your front forks should look like, so the LED headlight will fit onto the front like so, and the fenders will fit on the rear arms on the fork like this. You'll need a 10mm spanner for this, and I definitely suggest getting a ratchet spanner as it will make your life so much easier. But before we get into that, we need to adjust the headlight so there's room to tighten the bolt. So loosen the nut on the headlight as seen here, and gently swivel the light down. If it's not moving, try untightening the nut further, but do not completely remove it. Once that's done, we'll need to grab the bolt, nut and washer out. Thread it through the lamp and put the washer on the other side, followed by the nut. Hand tighten it until you can't tighten it anymore, and then grab your 10mm ratchet spanner and Allen key set or multi-tool and tighten. The same process is going to be done on the rear arms of the fork, which will hold the fender. You'll notice that the fender has a short length and a long length. This is important as the short length is supposed to be on the headlight side. So grab the bolt, nut and washer out, and then mount the fenders to the fixing point. Thread the bolt through and tighten it like we did with the headlight, but not too tight because we need to adjust it first. Moving to the front, we can see here that the fender isn't straight. Gently push or pull on the fender so it straightens up, and if it doesn't move, try loosening it up a little further. Once it's all good to go, tighten it all up. Now it's time to get the front wheel on. Grab another towel or bath mat to place on the ground so your handlebars and LCD won't get damaged when you flip it upside down. Grab your wheel and feed it through the forks, and making sure that they fit into the disc caliper as well. The wheels should fit snug into axles like this. Grab your skewer and unscrew the nut where you'll also grab the conical springs as well. Now take note of the orientation of the spring. You can see that it's cone shaped with the bigger side facing the nut. Thread it through the axles and then go around to the other side and put the spring and nut on. Now while you're tightening it, on the other side you'll hold the clamp. Get it to a point where it's 70% tightened, then try to close the clamp. If it's easy to close, then tighten the nut a bit more. And if you're struggling with closing the clamp, then loosen the nut further. Keep repeating this process until you find a sweet spot, but it should be as tight as possible but not impossible to clamp down. Give the wheel a spin and check if it spins straight and that the disc rotors aren't bent or rubbing on the disc pads. Now a little bit of rubbing is fine as that will go away after you bed your brakes in. If you have any issues here though, contact us and we'll help you out. While we got the bike upside down, we'll also attach the right pedal as well. This will require a 15mm spanner. Take your pedal out of the bubble wrap and be careful because there are 2 washers that are on the pedal spindles, which are taped. So remove the tape and reattach the washers to the spindle. Now, with almost every bike, pedals and cranks have a specific orientation to tighten. Right hand pedals tighten in the conventional way, which is clockwise, and left hand pedals tighten anti-clockwise. So this is a right side pedal, so tighten it clockwise with your hand and then complete it with a 15mm spanner. Now we're almost done here. Just flip the bike back around and then remove the rest of the padding. And here are your keys. And before you start riding, definitely check out the tire pressure and see if it's right. It's best to charge your e-bike first, so you can find the charger in the rectangular box and the charging port on the bike under the top tube section shown here. Once your bike is charged, the bike is ready to go.